Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Monaco Gaming Show. We are live with our kill race as we enter the final hour for all of these players and teams. And now, of course, we find out just who is the best of the best. Joining me here again, Enigma. It's been a wild ride so far.
It has indeed. Yeah, we've spoken multiple times about our friendly neighborhood Santa Krampus, who seems to be causing havoc for a lot of teams at the minute. We've seen a couple of teams undone by it, a couple of teams deciding to stick around and try and fight him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've also seen ourselves some really high kill games, some not so high kill games, and a little bit of everything in between.
Yeah, we really have, of course, and it's been a wild ride. Of course, thank you to all of our partners as well. But I've been told we have a giveaway for everybody watching the stream at the moment. Should be able to jump on board with. This is what you need to do to win, of course. We've got 10 packs of 2,400 COD points, 5 on PC, 5 on PS5. Tweet with hashtag Monaco Gaming Show. And retweet and follow MC Gaming Show. It's MC_Gaming Show. You can go on to Twitter, find that right now. It is the opportunity to grab yourself some wonderful COD points with these. Of course, these are our partners who have made this possible. This is Plazer, platform where you can jump in and listen to your favorite artists and creators all the way through. But it's been pretty good. I suppose we should jump in now and catch back up with the gameplay and find out how all our teams are doing, Enigma.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get into this final hour now, which we are just inside of, this is where it starts to become a point of really being under the boil. Do we see those top teams crumble or stand strong in the gunfights and do the best in the big moments that we've seen so far kind of fall apart for some squads? Do we see some new people come on through and bust themselves into competition, into the talking throw? Let's find out. Let's get ourselves in and watching them. But also, with that, we do finally get to see Juki's Bryce.
Yeah, always one of the favourites of any tournament he enters here. It looks like he's gone in board with Robstar and Scrap. So some very big names into this one. And they'll be looking forward to trying to put a lot of kills on. It looks like they're heading up towards peak via the cable car. You don't see that often.
No, brazen is the word I'm going to go with. Certainly, they do have the advantage you have at least. So as they get a view of the landscape here, they are going to chase down. Okay, yeah, head out off to this direction, off towards your northeast side. You've got a couple of players dotted around, and also an opportunity here to, if you just kind of draw yourself around this elevated area, you can perhaps seal off a lot of the sides as they collapse into the circle. And you can see already here, as you would expect from 3 players this talented, they're going to be very aggressive.
Well, looking for these players. There's a car coming up on the bottom, and Juki's opens up. Looking for it. There's a break. He's found one. Wow, that car just pulled the greatest 180 I've ever seen. How has that car got away? He's going to be upset that car is getting out of here as well. It looks like that STG is going to go to work long range. It's not unfortunately going to be enough for him, though. And we'll be disappointed to not get what he thought were probably guaranteed kills.
Yeah, we've seen some horrendous driving whilst watching the qualifiers and in this finals, but whoever that was whipped that thing round and straight out of there. No qualms at all. Just dealt with you're under fire as well, so no problems. But you know, watch now, Juki's try and get himself across this rocky face and will cut down one. And you can hear Krampus is somewhere nearby. And you can see him on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. That is indeed a big blue angry Santa that deals a serious punch if it comes anywhere near you. And Juki's here will get another. I think that's moved him up to 12, 13 kills there in your top right. And still 11 squads left, so still a lot of figures to chase. I would assume that Scraps and Robstar have got a couple as well. So they do get themselves a couple more kills. You start talking big numbers, and then you start talking placement points.
Yeah, that's exactly what they'll be going for here as well. Juki's doing the familiar going to work. An MP40. Pretty familiar. Oh, Krampus. It's just a horrifying sound, isn't it? Jingle bells is supposed to elicit joy of the holiday season. Instead, we got some big blue monster running at you from the gunfire. Juki's, though, taking it all in stride. Not really too worried about it. I don't think at this point that, oh my goodness, almost goes down to an anti-tank mine left on the buy station. Krampus still on his heels. It's the worst case scenario. No plates in. And this is one of the teams we said, do teams try and focus it down very, very quickly. Juki's team decided no, we will not.
Yeah, not wasting precious time, ammo, or resources on this guy. Just straight on and off. And not bothered enough to get the cash out of it either. As he continues to make moves here, and the jump and slides here on that downward elevation. Just going to give him a little bit of extra speed. And do wonder front right, whether that's an enemy or whether that's Krampus. And it will be indeed Krampus. So, oh no, wait, is that? No, I couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like someone was just tucked up against a rock face over there. But Scrap's already in a gunfight, sees that there's plenty down here, and Juki's just going to provide a different angle.
Yeah, going to make sure this player doesn't get away. Obviously, team shooting, very, very powerful in this game. And there goes the stun. That player's like, I have nowhere to do. Tries to tuck into the rock, and Juki says, thank you very much. Line up for me. And more kills going. A big kill game, actually, for them at the moment. 17 so far. Still a decent amount of kills left in this lobby. 10 for them. But can they find them?
They've got the cash here to string another UAV together. Keep moving across. And I guess at this point, you just, any dot that comes up, just seal them off. And Juki's here, not slowing down, just straight upon it. There's at least 2 here. I can't see if there's a third, but there's at least 2, and that gas is going to push them in. You see them just pop up over the ridge there. Juki's patient on the trigger. Nice in the veins.
Wow, there you go. Just go for, I mean, you can still hear Krampus. Juki's has to back out of this one. Probably going to be waiting for Scraps to back him up as they get these guys into a pinch who are in the gas. A full reposition by Juki's. Scrap's going to be looking for the long-range gunfights as he goes straight for it. There's the MP40. He's got 1. The other player is super, super weak, and Juki's going to take advantage of it. Gets that second one down as well. And no self-revive for you, thank you. There's a third player. You can sit down as well. And looking for this player. Got the self-revive. It's no good. Juki's is still there. That's an easy team wipe.
And that is why he's one of the highest-earning players in Warzone. I mean, easy situation there where he pops up over that ridge, both players staring back at him, Krampus up behind him somewhere. It wouldn't be those moments where someone like me, you panic, you probably lose the gunfight, you try and do too much at once, but he just immediately segments it into what he needs to do. Back off, reassess, reposition, and try and clear himself away from Krampus, who is back after him, by the way. Definitely not giving up. But then he goes on to clean up all 3 fights and assesses each one as to prioritize where he needs to be. Lovely stuff. Gets in another UAV, and the jingle bells are back, and so's a snowball to the face.
It's just so frustrating. We're seeing Juki's not really worry about any other players at this point because he just keeps taking them down. But Krampus is an issue. It never stops being an issue. Gets in the car, drives away eventually. Says, right, I've had about enough of that. Let's put a bit of pace out of it. You even see the problem being is that, you know, that Krampus is still going to keep coming as Scraps are going for more kills.
He is. Scraps and Robstar here certainly know how to handle themselves. I mean, Juki's spoken about his standing in the Warzone community, but Scraps, ex-Call of Duty League player, wouldn't want that shooting back at you. It's one of those things, like if you're one of the opposing teams, you sit and you think to yourself, oh, I've managed to get through one player, who's up next? And it's just an array of talent. I'm not even called out Robstar yet, and he knows how to handle himself around these maps as well. As you see him drive a truck straight through the opposing team, and Juki's just says, okay, you provide distraction, I'll provide the cleanup.
Yeah. I feel like Juki's has had Krampus after him for about an hour at this point. Just not even engaging it, just constantly being destroyed over and over again.
Yeah. No. Best mates. At the minute, something like that. Anyway. You hear the call out for rounds, and Juki's happy to supply. Still got a decent bit of cash in the pocket. Scrap's the only one without a self-revive. Lots of kills. And Juki's himself on 22. This could easily be a very high ball game as we get down. Now we are in placement point territory.
We are. And they are just trying to figure out where this last player is. Juki's had a very, very good game so far. 22 already. The rest of his team probably doing some work as well. But all they're waiting for now is essentially this game away. They don't think they're going to lose it. They're not really too worried about it. They've only got to face 2, and there's 3 of them. And realistically, even in a 1v2, I'd probably pick these players over whoever is left. And now just figuring out. Is he? Oh, Krampus. Sorry. Technically, it is a 3v3 because Juki's has to deal with Krampus taking him down as well.
Yep, definitely not to be ignored. I think he's finally left Juki's alone for just a minute, giving him just a second to breathe. I think he's actually after Robstar now, so that's awesome.
You can see they're just calm and composed. They're not really worried about the fact that the death center's on them. Krampus will be ignored here. They have finally found these last two players. Juki's lines out. That player's trying to play peekaboo with a tree. Krampus has finally disappeared as well.
Oh no!
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful.
Easy as you like, Bryce. Easy as you like. I mean,
look easy. Juki's look stressed.
Yeah. My guy's lost most of his hairline and gonna need some anti-wrinkle moisturizer or something to deal with that. Like, oh my goodness me! Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my. But, I mean,
I wouldn't say it's shy of 50 kills.
Yeah, low 50s, I think, in there. Goodness me, what a game. I mean, but yeah, you can understand Juki's reaction there. Like, he spent the last 15 minutes with Krampus hunting him around and dealing with gunfights, winning 1v3s and so on and so forth. That's difficult enough, by the way, without Murder Santa chasing you around. And we're going to jump in with Feet Rana. Now, I don't know how these guys have gone on over the last hour and a half or so, but when we saw these guys at the start of the evening, they were looking very good.
Yeah, and we'll see what the kid. Oh no, obviously Feet Rana. I was a big fan of him during the qualifiers. So they put on some flashy gameplay, and so they're hunting this solo player at the moment who's desperately running for their life. He's going to go down. I don't know if there's any ghosted teammates nearby. That's always one of the things like you got to be careful of. What if some of them are ghosted and just hiding, ready to pop out on you?
Yeah, no, you're right. You have to be very, very cautious of that. We saw that a couple of times as well during the solo qualifiers when players thought they had world was their oyster. They could get around quite a lot, and oh dear, in comes a cluster. Feet Runner just trying to dip, dive, dodge. I'd have put some plates in personally. You gotta finish this gunfight quick if you're not gonna put in plates.
Il a fui, il est super loin tout au fond.
Il avait à terre,
On est fini, hein?
juste à côté là.
Here's the thing. Essentially, by the way, I'm just being told of a little bit of a rule change that I'll try and qualify a little bit later on about the kill farm. It's basically the point we're just making sure is correct is exactly when these players can launch into their last game, because it is very important. Bearing in mind, right, that we are seeing some of these players actually drop like 50 kill games.
Yeah.
If you get into that last game at the right time, you can put yourself in a very, very good position for it. Was that a playlist update I just saw?
I don't know. I mean, the other day we started one of our qualifiers and they literally released a patch as we went live. So it really wouldn't surprise me.
Go in the car if you want. I'm gonna go on them.
Wow. I hope it's no significant patch. I can't imagine it is.
I'll allow it a minute before we check back on that. But for now, we're on board with the second place team. Currently second place team, as you can see on that graphic on your right. Nobu, Spartan, and co. And these guys were really cooking up a storm earlier. Definitely what I would say about this side is they were composed and collected in those moments that can easily go wrong. In those moments where you're down on plates and you're all a bit, someone's down, someone else is up, and you're just burning through self-revives and so on. These guys seem to clutch up in a lot of scenarios. Can you do that for 3 hours straight? Probably not, but... Oh god, okay. This is one of those scenarios, Bryce. Straight in with it.
Oh, has been found in the bush, and it looks like they're trying to take him down as well. That's Combat Scout, so it has been lit up. Fortunately, teammates coming in clutch and putting them to the sword. See, now one of them should get the revive. The other should cover, but it shouldn't really matter. Nobody else is in this area.
Is it frustrating? Absolutely, but no one dies. There's no loss of money or weapons or anything. The worst you really is you burn through a couple of plates. But other than that, this team just seemed to sort out any problems really, really quickly. At least whilst we've been on board with them. And Nobu here, tap, tap, tap away. Break comes on. Knows there's an opponent nearby as well. That is a down. And, oh, goodness me. I thought that, okay, fair enough. Cleans it up. So, pushing this other guy and clean that one up. And is there a third? And I think there was. And I think that Primza's just dove all over it. So, another 3 kills for this team. And just anti-air fire coming on in through. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they're necessarily the most aggressive or quickest team out of everyone we've seen, but they just seem to get it done.
Yeah. And, every time we're talking about how well a team's doing, he appears.
Yeah.
And they see him, and it looks like they're going to try and take him on as well. His teammates really need to back him up here. If you're going to try and take on Krampus, you have to just drop everything and go for it. There's that first teleport. Munitions box might actually come in useful here. There we go. Going to drop that down as well. Going to need all the rounds to take care of him. I wonder if he said to his teammates, let me just deal with this.
Where's the hunter?
And then he's left him. He's disappeared. No doubt we'll be back. As we saw with Juki's a moment ago, he doesn't really give up easy. I just wonder if we can find out. Oh, yeah, it looks like he's chasing after Primza. Nobu here, just trying to clean things up. I do wonder where this circle's pulling them out across. Okay, all right, so we are going to have a bit of airfield, a bit of mines, but it's going to be relatively open ground if they get towards that final circle.
Well, at the moment, I think they're just trying to get back into the groove here. Obviously, Krampus always throws a little bit of a problem in because you basically want all your teammates just going as full force as possible. And with Krampus, you're like, obviously, you'll be hearing your teammate panic and run away and having to reposition the players they don't want to be in and taking damage. And you either deal with Krampus early and just all gun him down and put a couple of clips into him, which, yeah, it does slow you down, but it essentially, you just get him out of the way. Or you ignore him, like we saw Juki do. You just keep on going and deal with the inconvenience. At the moment, Nobu Spartan looks like he's going to just try and take on this entire team. You can see them already. Goes for. He's manning up here. He wants somebody to stand in the open for a second. That's a blue. They are going to have to make a move, though, because this is not going to be efficient for him. Like, the longer you stay in an outgun scenario, the worse it actually gets for you, because now that they know you're here, they can play around you, and you don't have any backup.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Nailed it on the head. He's got to clean these up quickly, at least one of them, and allow himself to have a side of safety. The one thing I wonder is whether these guys were already fighting each other, and this is essentially a third-party situation gone wrong, as he tries to get himself around, and he's just trying to clear out bits of areas on his side here, make sure, and I with the red dots popping up on the screen, I do assume, yes, so I think these teams are already fighting each other, and whoever this is about to have a very, very bad afternoon. Bye-bye, son. You've just run straight into one of the leading teams in a kill farm tournament. That is very unlucky. Nobu here just going to get aggressive. You also do want to stop these teams fighting each other so that you get the kills. Oh, goodness me. You've slips and slides and dodges out.
Oh, just getting a little bit lit up here. Waiting for that player to come up as well. Great read from Nobu Spartan. Knew exactly what was about to appear. Oh, great position. Waiting for the more players. Oh, I can hear an elf next to him as well. Oh, it's actually being in trouble. There's a player coming down the other end. He's just going to try and engage on this gunfight. He's got no plates left and no health, and he's been taken down by another player.
I was about to say, one of the things I think that we see a lot from the top-end teams as Elf makes another appearance in a webcam, one of the things that the best players do a lot in Warzone is they utilize the environment around them. As you saw with that gunfight, he hops onto the sofa and essentially uses it as a springboard to give himself a height advantage in a gunfight that the opponent is just not expecting, and turns that gunfight on its head. Nearly does the same there, does a great job. He made some great plays earlier with a stair railing, but on that one, I think his head was a little bit too big and he gets stuck in the window, so very unfortunate. Nearly made a bit of the impossible play there, but we are on board with Hisoka and co, and I believe that they are still currently in the lead. Now, we only got one look at them earlier, and it didn't go very well, but otherwise, they must have been frying.
Yeah, it looks like they've basically just been playing very, very well so far and going for it. I will say one other thing. Surprising on Caldera that more people don't use the recon drone. It's not great, don't get me wrong. It's never going to be a mind break, but the fact you can use it to ping amongst all the foliage and the trees and everything, I feel like it's even more useful than it was on Verdansk. And there's the big game bounty contract. They can go for this play, get an advanced UAV, and also if they do manage to pull it off, they can basically go straight and get their teammate back.
Yeah, we've just been informed that this team, so Hisoka, Skullface, and Omega, have put up several 60-plus kill games. That is absurd. Once you start to add in, I'm going to assume that there's going to be a couple of wins in there as well, and some other bits, and there's another down. And Was that the big game bounty, or was that someone else? Kill comes through, and that was indeed. And the advanced is here, so that tells him everything he needs to know about how to take this next set of gunfights. Dip in through the window. That will obviously make a lot of noise. The opponents will be aware that he's here, but can they do anything about it? Because this man knows how to shoot straight.
Wow, a little bit outnumbered. This is not a great place to fight an awful lot of cover, and especially with no spare plates. He might have to just leave this. The stim is not going to help you out of that plate. So how on earth you just won that gunfight with no plates? Needs to pick that up desperately. Get that in and get out of here. More players now coming onto his position. He's trying to stay alive here, Hisoka. He wants these kills and he wants this money. There is a buy station calling his name. Unfortunately, UAV comes out, but he's found a player. That's gone for the blue. He wants to go for the end here, but pushing out does expose him. Eventually, that's the down. Headset will be fully cranked as well. Needs to know if somebody pushed out the back there. There's that self-revive.
Yeah, definitely. You seen him deadass? No bully.
I think so.
Oh, you can hear the teammates as well. Their headsets will be cranked too, just calling out everything about what's going on with no recon, no information available to him. He's got to be careful. Both teammates are out of this. He's on his own. Can he clean up these kills? Because this would be a huge moment in order to strap some cash together.
Wait, what? He's there. He's still there.
Well, looking for it. That is a huge gun there with the EM2. It's not been fully meta for a little bit, but he's making it look like the best gun in Warzone history. And still doing so much work with this as well. Grabbing all the plates, grabbing all the money. Has to call his teammate back in. He's worked so hard for it. There's one more player he can get the money off as well. And you can see him still playing alive. Once he got a bit of backup here, there's plenty of guns for his teammates to drop straight back in. And I suspect that's what he's doing. Well, they might actually be able to combine money and get it.
With all these kills as well, the teammates are landing on essentially full loadouts. And oh my god.
That was not a bad player either.
Was that, though, the player who was shooting at a moment ago? Because I think that might have been a slightly different skin. So is there someone else still lingering around? As the Scully comes in next, and Hisoka turning this situation from looking like a last standard, last gasp attempt at stringing some kills together into 16 individual kills. Still got a handful left to get in this lobby. You're inside the circle. Your teammates are going to be all plated up because the amount of stuff that's now down and around. What an insane performance from this young man. That is a Twitter clip if ever I saw it, Bryce.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of those highlight reels you get to see. I've also been told, apparently, this team, the reason they're probably ahead is they're dropping multiple 60-plus kill games. So they just don't slow down. Like, this is, at the moment, this is not only our leader, but possibly the favorite to win everything.
Yeah, no, I find it completely surreal to think that the one game we got to see of them before this, they kind of just completely bombed out of and immediately quit and on to the next one. But right now, we're being shown exactly why they're making things happen. Straight into the Jeep, to the big game bounty, hop back in. Let's get moving, boys. On to the next one. So, yeah, absolutely making things happen. You can hear Scully calling out, you know, where opponents are at all times, just trying to be as efficient and effective as possible. And
oh, God! Oh no, that's Krampus! Oh no! Krampus is human sized, so he just locked onto that second player, thinking, "All right, another two-piece here for me." Realised when it turned around, oh no, that's a big blue bear of death.
Yeah, did very well as well for a second. So just. Because I feel like if that was me, I'd be like, why is this guy not dying? What is going on here? And then you realize that he immediately was like, all right, I'm peacing out of this situation. Goodbye. And goes off and gets the kill. And here's another one, surely. Yeah, gets that down. But was he fighting someone? And yes, he was. Got to get out. The incendiaries will delay his recovery and slow the plates back in. But as they go in, Omega's here to cover over. And you can see why this squad are leading, Bryce. I mean, very good at dealing with threats, assessing the situation, then executing it very well. I've got to give so many props to Hisoka, who has turned this situation from impossible to winnable. And oh gosh.
Holy shit, you think she's good? Your side on 1E, promise?
Yeah. He knew that player was half decent. Fortunately, this team has, ever since Hisoka essentially did some big work, has an awful lot of money spare. And not an awful lot of teams they actually have to deal with in this, or players, I should say, in this last bit. There's only actually going to be 4 other players. So I wonder if they call them back in, get a UAV in, and hunt them down and go into the next lobby.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. So yeah, so we can see there 36 kills currently for this one. But now how do they play this? Do they decide, okay, placement point time, we start to think about those 15 bonus points? Or do they just continue to be aggressive and keep the pace where it is?
I'm buying him right now.
And it looks like there will be a buy back in straight away. Surely at this point, you just go straight for the 15. Those bonus points again. And
I mean, they could grab a bounty here. They could grab a big game bounty. Oh, there we go. They found one. That player's probably going to go for a most wanted if they're alone. Where are the rest of them, though? Could be ghosted.
I got nothing, bro.
Hella far on.
And this is one of those situations where...
I got weirdo for that. He's lit.
Oh, okay. Something just went wrong for Omega. He wasn't happy about something, but will fall. Ahsoka here is going to land essentially on... Well, it was the guy who took him down. He's taking all of that. I don't know about the K-Swiss. I'd probably just leave that on the deck. But does he... Yeah, move back over to his stuff. Lots of cash, lots of weaponry, plates galore. And okay, so you've got an opportunity here to pick your teammate back in and then find out what exactly killed him. But this is one of those moments as well. If you look at Skullface, he's over the other side of the airfield. These three are all... Oh, gunfight here.
Oh, that's an easy stun.
Perfect. Perfect. I feel like that's one of those as well. He's aware that this guy's going to be good. Slides out. Knows that this guy's going to be feeling confident and aggressive. Perfect stun. Baits him into it.
Yeah. And here's the thing now. So 2 versus 3 at the end. Ahsoka has an absolute ton of money, so he'll call back in his teammate and a UAV to boot. The only issue being is that I feel like this last team may be ghosted.
They could be,
Yeah. I think you're going to be right there. We haven't seen anything of them, though.
No, I mean, Ahsoka thought he heard something and threw out a stun to see if we could bait. Pings are coming in on top of the building as well. If they are ghosted, obviously, any UAV does bring in isn't going to mean anything.
Yo, Loki buying airstrike. Airstrike tower. Right here.
Oh, it's actually they're actually buying in streets. I love this call. They think they're up there. I think I just saw somebody. I think they are up there, that other team. Precision's now going down on it.
So this might have been what Omega was moaning about. The fact that they're just essentially set up in the tower.
Nothing in the tower.
Yeah, I got
Well,
in front of me by the hangar.
if it doesn't get cleaned up here, the gas is going to move them on out. With all due respect to this opposing team, I'm assuming they're not the best because if you heard all that gunfight going on below you, you would be pushing that.
All 3 on me.
Yeah, they should have jumped out as well. Oh, no, I think they found him. Going to be mounted up here. Amiga's down. Skullface is down. Hisoka here, fighting for the most amount of points he can get from this lobby. Oh, he gets it down as well. Problem is, I don't think Omega is going to be able to get back up.
Try to get on a tent. Maybe.
So will we see a big 1v3? Oh, this team knows where they are as well.
That's so corny.
Who did we hear on our left then? It
I'm pretty sure, by the way, that Krampus took down Scully.
There, a guy they crossed you. Oh, they're crossing.
He's crossing me already or what?
No. You have to cross it in the zone. He's prone literally right here. Oh, they rezzed him.
I'll tell you something, that EM2 still looks very, very good.
Ahsoka pondering the situation here.
These guys literally don't even see.
Yeah, he's going to have to go all the way down here to get across if he wants to. There's no cover, of course, running across that airfield, and a little bit out of bounds. If the game ended like that, I would have lost it. This isn't as much cover as he would probably like. It may be just enough to get him into the position he needs to be in. Not going to be quite enough, and he is going to go down. Hisoka, what a game. Not the biggest game they would have wanted. Not the win they would have wanted either.
They all rotated to me.
It's just a stretch too far.
It was, and I really feel for him. I do think that, Skullface goes down, comes up saying Krampus has had a successful hunt. I think that that was very unfortunate. Omega then stuck in a 1v3. He gets picked off, leaves Hisoka, in a 1v3. They will get second, I think, so 7 points on top of the 36 kills that they had. That's not bad. If you consider any possible coefficient bonuses as well, you start to push yourself up towards those 50 points for, I don't know, even a half-decent lobby. So looking really good. And we're on board here. We've just come... Oh, my God. This team, I mean, we can see at least what, 39, 46 kills there. I mean, I'm going to assume that's a 50 plus, pushing 60. These top teams are just starting to absolutely turn it up. We are, you know, coming in towards 2.5 hours, rocking and rolling. You'd be forgiving some of these sides for slowing up a little bit. Can they continue at that pace? Apparently, they're just going to get even hotter.
Give me your money.
Wow.
To him, okay?
And they need to. This is it. This is one of the last opportunities. And I suppose if they are checking their scoreboard, then they'll be a little bit like stressed out. Even with a win coming in, that's a big game. What's that? 56? Something along those lines.
63? 63?
Oh yeah, Jesus! I was way underneath. I didn't even shoot correctly. That's unbelievable. That's a huge game for them.
Oh my, you get the 15 for the first place as well, 78 before we even talk coefficient. Oh my, Bryce, you were talking about it just a second ago. They need to keep at that pace. This is exactly why. Prodigy there dropped 27. You told me earlier on in the afternoon that boy is good. 27 kills. We're getting 2.5 hours in. You've been going for it all afternoon. Yeah, okay. I fully believe you, my man. He is putting up some serious numbers. We're on board here with one of our invited teams, Kaiser, Buzzin, and Pentagon. Unfortunately, Kaiser and Pentagon down and out.
I also point out at this time our scoreboard as we get into, I suppose, the last stretch for this. At the moment, Team USA still number one. Their points is 241.95. Then Nobu Spartan, 231.8. Juki's looks like his points are finally registering on our scoreboard because he's at 224.2 in third place. Punkill, who we were just watching a second ago, obviously 206.85. I don't know if that includes the last game we just saw.
No, potentially not. Yeah, potentially not. So, I mean, we don't obviously know once we start to take away any coefficient points, but I mean, that could be first place game. That could be the game that puts them up into first place and gives them the lead as we push in this final stretch, just showing how very much so it is important that these teams continue to push, because that lead can certainly swap hands at this stage, and we do have prize money obviously for second and third as well, and your top killer. Yeah, so obviously there's lots to play for these. I wonder who will end up being the top killer. I think we can check on the scoreboard who's currently doing it. At the moment, looks like Drew in Punkill, 88 at the moment. Fuzzin next in Team Kaiser, and then Nicecactus and Skullface third and fourth. They're both from Team USA. I mean, every player that you just said there, we have watched them fry this evening, so no surprises. I think there's a player here. Oh no, it's a chopper. Okay. For a second there, I thought Kaiser had missed something. Glancing down at something on his left. I'm assuming it's going to be his chat. It gave me a nerve for a second. I do love this skin on the helicopter. Always makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones. Fly about with rainbows everywhere. It looks like they're about to drop into a hot drop here. They're looking for the teams that are flying through.
This
going straight down. I don't even think I've been down here, by the way.
Oh, was ist denn das?
Kein habe ich.
Schau schon, wo du bist.
I think that might have been a gas canister he just hit, by the way.
I'll tell you something. I didn't even know this existed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I've ever been in this part of the map yet.
Not a clue.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this. Obviously, it's all around the quarry, and usually I stick to up top. I knew there were some things underground. I didn't think it was quite that extensive. This player still being hunted. They are not kind of relenting at any point in this game, and neither should they.
Absolutely not, and they are off to an absolute flyer. I'm not sure exactly where they are in the leaderboard, but 6 kills here just on Kaiser. We've seen his teammates get a couple. They're now rocking around with a lot of cash. Second circle's coming towards an end, so this is one of those moments where we haven't seen a lot of it today, but it is one of those moments where it could start to steamroll, funnel into a very, very nice game if you start to get the advance. UAV's going and the bounty's going. But as we said, I think that Krampus might be just cramping a couple of people's style, because that, for whatever reason, we're just not seeing it that much today.
Yeah, I think if you're being honest, he's probably our kill leader at the moment in this game. But it's interesting to see that the players are just dealing with it. I don't think anybody's been overly panicked. Nobody's been too worried. A few of them try to take him on briefly. And again, you know, in the name of efficiency, maybe if you're just going for just wins, you'd take Krampus down and not worry about it. But because they're going for kills, they don't want to take any time away from basically hunting down other teams. So it means a lot of the time they're in fights, which means they're basically fighting another team and Krampus most of the time.
Yeah, or just actively not, as we saw with Juki's. Just ignore him. Just keep running. Yeah, I can clean this one up. Oh, God, that's so frustrating. You can see that he just wants to finish his kill off. Player's going to pop a shoot, and there we go. And Nobu here moving on in through this. This team are second overall in our leaderboard, but as much as that's good now, we do still have around half an hour to go. And these sides just need to continue to put up insane kill figures. We saw with Hisoka and Co earlier. They've put up multiple 60-kill games. Hisoka turning, in, I mean, very difficult situations into winnable situations. And as much as this side have been good throughout the afternoon, they need to keep it up. I do think they're just completely split at this point.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, so that's one of the ways. If you're confident in your teams, if you think you've got an easy lobby as well, there's no reason not to. Just go for it. Get the UAVs up. You have the advantage with the UAV. Try and overcome it. Yeah, you can players go down, but as long as some people are winning, you've got money to come back into and basically pick up new guns and go for it again. I was going to say at this point, you know, we haven't talked an awful lot about the meta. I know we talked about it at the start of the broadcast, but the MP40 seems to be the SMG of choice, just for everybody. Everybody's been running that I've been seeing. The only difference has been the ARs. Like, I feel like we're seeing a lot of variety. STGs, we saw the AK at one point. We did see a Bren. We have seen some bar work as well. So it seems like it's pretty open. We even saw the XM4 at one point, which I thought was insane. But it does mean there is quite a varied meta going on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very surprised actually not to see the Cooper Carbine come out from many people. We've seen it once or twice, but not as often as first thought when we was talking about it at the top of the evening, when we were saying, you know, you were saying about how it really is a good weapon, but we haven't seen that much of it. But yeah, plenty of MP40. We spoke about it during the week about how it felt a bit meh, but perhaps with the patch, it's slightly better. And all Spartan's two teammates have gone down here, and Krampus is on his backside. Now, as much as you would love to sit here and ignore Krampus, you've kind of got to be careful, because if you go down here, well, that's your lobby over, and it hasn't been a great one for these guys anyway. So looking to get every single bit of placement point as they can, and just keep running, my son. Just keep hightailing it. But back to meta, yeah, no, definitely enjoying seeing the variety in the ARs. Don't get me wrong. I know it's kind of nice in Warzone when we sit and we talk about, like, oh, well, this, you can segment time through metas. You can say this was this time period, this was this time period. But I always love seeing variety, whether it be in competitive multiplayer or whether it be in Warzone. I just love seeing people be able to marry the weapon to their playstyle.
Yeah, and at the moment, that's exactly what is happening. I said, apart from maybe the default MP40. Oh, and Krampus. Well, he's trying to take it on. This is just how many bullets it does take to kill Krampus, and then you've got to start running again. Actually going to run out of ammo here if he tries to continue to do this. Doesn't really have as much as he would like. Where is Krampus? And just running away. This is, I mean, this just must be frustrating. Like, if you get into a fight now, you don't really have the ammo to kill a team. And also, you know, you're basically having to go out of your way. Look, they're skirting around the outside of the map for this.
Yeah, when he first started using the MP40, I mean, that throwing knife didn't go anywhere near. But when he first started using the MP40, I was like, oh, you're going to run out of ammo here, swap over. He swaps to the second. There's nothing in that either. So, yeah, definitely,
It's all good.
definitely needs to find some loot somewhere. Hits him with the throwing knife and then picks it back up and just keep moving. But surely at this point, you're just looking to hopefully pop open this box, and for once you just want a shed load of ammo.
Okay, your teammate back in, and still looking for ammo. Krampus still giving him issues. You can hear him right behind him, and he's deciding. Yeah, the thing is, he can't even take it on. Like, it's just not even worth. The only thing they could possibly do: go top of this mountain, get that cash box. Don't think they're gonna. I think the teammate might be going to do it. Actually, yeah. There's a helicopter flying in for it. And he'll go back here with his teammates, and they may even call in a loadout, depending. It should be about 12,000 in this, or he could miss the jump. It's one of the two. There is a team coming in, though. He needs ammo desperately. It's been called out to his teammates.
I have a box of plate.
Krampus really does stick around for some time. My God.
You wanna buy your munition?
Yeah, I think that this other team have peeled off instead. Not keen to push that. I mean, I can understand that from the other team's point of view as the cluster comes in. So have they actually decided to get up and aggressive on this and have a couple hop out maybe? But at the end of the day, Spartan and Co have got to head in that direction anyway because of Circle. And there was some AR ammo in there, but definitely not as much as you probably would have liked. And here's that minigun that you were talking about earlier. Not as effective as you would like, but
yeah, it's just a scouting helicopter. I mean, you'll put some bullets down, but look at this. We've seen this play a gun over and over again. Just bullets just flying all over the place. Nothing really being hit. It's just not. It's a minigun, but it's not an effective one.
yeah, definitely not one of the ones you get in the campaign anyway.
Right here, there was a big
And-
box, I think if you check in the corner.
Mapo here has dove off and being supplied with all the information in the world. And I do think they essentially just hurled the helicopter at someone, and oh, he's got to be careful here. It looks the wrong way at the wrong time. One thing he does have, though, is plates. Doesn't have much in the way of ammunition, but able to slide a couple in and join his teammates in this fight.
Oh, so he's going to jump straight in with them as well, and hopefully they've left him some spare ammunition. Looks like he's back to full. Another cash box down low. I don't know if it's worth going for. I think they're looking for a team here at the end of the gas, and with things exploding, it's probably a good call.
Keep the car, yeah. Right here. Right.
Just a gatekeep at this point. I will say, for a side that is at the top end of the leaderboard, this has looked like a very underwhelming lobby, a very poor return on definitely not what they would have hoped for, and they've essentially got to try and eke out as many kills as they can throughout the rest of this one and go for first place. Anything less, and it's a bit of a disaster this late on in the evening.
Wow. What was it? He's stopping? What's he? He's disconnected? He's there's something under his desk. It's an interesting development here on the Monaco Gaming Show. Maybe it's a cat. Maybe it's his water bottle. Oh, he's going under the desk. Head glitching the desk. Oh, it's his controller. And something else. Everything's gone wrong for him here. Obviously, you know, now we just need Krampus to turn back up as he tries to disconnect all his wires. Oh, he's actually going fully under the desk. This is the most interesting development we've seen in the last few minutes. His teammates still going, by the way. They're still looking for something. I have no idea what was going on there, by the way. Something clearly has gone wrong under the desk.
Yep. A lot of questions, but
we have time. We
we hop over here.
don't have much.
This is another Historia team. Just to remind you guys, I believe it was 4 Historia teams that qualified for this finals, really representing.
I love the aim assist, bro.
And someone's got an issue with their aim assist, but again, if you look top right, I mean, we obviously don't know how the whole team have performed, but only 3 kills. You're most of the way through the lobby. Yep. Some teams definitely slowing up at this point, and I did say it is forgivable. They have been at it for 2 hours and 45 minutes at this point.
Are you getting shot from the back?
But as we've seen from a couple of different teams, they just continue to eke out those big kill games. And speaking of which, we are on board with them now. Hisoka already has 7 in this one, and this is one of the teams that is truly at the pinnacle of our leaderboard. And there comes number 8.
So I wasn't 100% sold on the EM2. I know it used to be the meta, and I thought it had kind of been nerfed into the floor, but with how hard it's hitting with Hisoka, it's a gun that I feel like I'm going to have to revisit. Like, I've seen people still use the Krieg, by the way, because it has still very low recoil, and it still hits a decent amount. It's the meta is all over the place. I've just never seen this many main ARs used in this.
Yeah, put me on that bitch.
They just brought back again.
Jump over here.
I think you're right. I'll be hopping in for some Warzone games this afternoon. Definitely want to give a try. There's a massive amount of variety, though. Can definitely mix up those classes and see what works for you at this point. It's a really good place to be in overall. But some ammo. Our boy Spartan could have done with one of those a moment ago.
Yeah, certainly could have done, obviously. I was wondering about the best way to take out Krampus. Can you run Krampus over? I have no idea. I feel like he probably just teleports.
I feel like he just grabbed the helicopter and launched it at this point.
Yeah, probably just smashes up and blows up on him. Because, you know, just to make it more overpowered. Are they hunting down this car with the miniguns? I think you're actually better at getting out and shooting it. They're going to try and crush somebody here. Never mind, they've got one down. And there you go. There's the finish.
Something satisfying about that. Shouldn't be, but there is.
Keep running, Skull. Keep
Yeah, I think Skullface was firing at somebody, so they're going to jump straight into this one. Park this on the roof. All they're even going to do is just jumping. He's not even getting out of the helicopter. He's just letting his players clear out. There's a car going now. It's trying to get this one with the EM2. That might have been a case actually with one time with. Oh, never mind. Gets the kill regardless. Just say one time with the minigun. If you switch seats, if it's still in a solid emplacement, it's actually not too bad. When it's flying about, you can't really get it locked on.
Got to say, I'm very impressed by Ahsoka's piloting here. By the way, just up, down, left, right, tipping and tilting wherever he needs to kind of be. I think the one thing that he didn't do right there was maybe just use the minigun. Gets the kill anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I certainly can't fly choppers like that. He changed direction and idea about 3 times and pulled it off unbelievably efficiently. And
on his ass.
I'm just continuing to spot out players from this advanced position. They definitely look at this in between all the trees, lands it, teammates clean it up, and I don't know if you're one of the players on the ground just trying to enjoy your Warzone afternoon and that thing lands in front of you, you got to be wondering.
Well, I like the fact that they are using this for just the most mobility they can do. They're not using, not running about. As long as they can keep this helicopter alive, it just allows them to be super efficient in going and finding players. Obviously, a UAV would be great here, but they haven't got one at the moment, so they're just trying to figure out, they have got UAV. The UAV's come in. They're trying to ping now, see if they can find anybody in this area. There's one down there. They'll drop a player off, drop 2 players off. Maybe land. Oh my goodness, they actually lost one. They lost a player straight away. This may be a ghosted team.
Camping. 2 and 4. 2 and 4.
Stay on this side, Skull. Come back to me. Come back to me.
Oh, I love the communication. I love the work here, just providing that cover fire. Picks up the down. Scully's just going to try and dip out, plate back in. You can see them going in, but he's actually caught midway through, and gunfight goes down, catches him on the revive. Doesn't even let the animation finish before he moves on, just showing how quick he is happy to take on these different fights. And whoever this is fleeing now is just trying to hightail it. Will be ghosted, I think, so the UAV won't be picking him up. But Ahsoka doesn't mind. Ahsoka straight after him. At what point, though, does it become a case of, okay, let's dip back to that helicopter and continue on our path, which was working. And I believe this is someone else. And tap, tap, tap away. And no break yet, but...
All these weak-ass fucking obstacles and shit.
The thing is, he needs this kill to get the money to get his teammate back. They are near a buy as well, so clearly hunting him down for that reason. And that was one of the dangers here, obviously flying in, even with a UAV, drop the players off, and it turns out, ghosted team.
Bro, I lost him.
Oh, an elimination came. Oh, that would be the guy that he left all the way back up at the far end. So,
Shit, he's getting active. He's getting active.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the pings on the radar there. You can see them, and they're going to go hunting after him. They might have been fighting each other already because this guy was slide canceling his way around, and clearly a lot already going on. But can you be taking full advantage of this to get shot from this side? And that was the other guy that I'm pretty sure that was the person that they were running after at first. And that's unfortunate, but that being said, I mean, this team racked up some serious kills there. Ahsoka was essentially our pilot throughout all of that, and he's on double digits himself. So I would be surprised if his teammates aren't as well. Oh, there we go. We get a very brief flash, and they weren't. But there's 23 kills between them.
Well, I mean, I feel like we haven't seen a Gulag in a while, by the way. Like, this is the first Gulag in, feel like an hour and a half. The teams have been doing pretty well, or just buying themselves back. The Automaton is looking for this player. I think he knows where he is. Out goes this. Should jump out this here. Look for the player around red crates. Goes for it. That's an easy kill with the slide cancel. And straight back into it. I will say this team is... We've never got on board with them. They've not looked great.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. Okay. Ahsoka feeling very festive. As he looks to find an area to get himself back on in. I kind of like this, actually. He's going to head on out, hopefully scoop plenty of weapons, ammo, kit, cash, buy station nearby, and I think there was also a big-time bounty. So if everything goes to plan, an opportunity here to steamroll into something, but it's definitely not been as rewarding as he'd hoped.
No, it hasn't. He needs to get his teammates back in if he wants to make something out of this. And looking for cash desperately, or guns, or a plate, or basically anything. It seems like Beach is bereft of everything you'd actually want.
Yeah, I think it actually starts off pretty good, but clearly something went down out here at one point.
Krampus on that ass. Uh-huh.
Well, fully plated, and you've got. Oh, here's opportunity, and oh, you can hear Krampus though.
Oh, that is the worst time. Is it hunting him or is it hunting someone else?
I think he was hunting the guy he looked at. That might not have been two players. That might have been Krampus in behind him.
Get him, Crumpus, get him.
That is an awful lot of money. Now he needs to go to the buy station. Disaster does loom around the corner, though, if there is a team nearby. It looks like he's figured something out. Somebody must be in here, and already some shots going down. He doesn't really have the plates, but it doesn't matter. That player gets instantly eliminated, and now he has to run away. He knows that player wasn't alone, and they're thinking, right, alternate, where on earth do we go for our next buy-in? He's not even going to engage the rest of that team. He's just going for the buy station.
Yeah, teammates instantly called out there. He's got to dip out, and there is another buy station that is open to him. You've got to assume that the player that he just killed, his team probably think he's going to that buy station instead, so his opportunity to bail out. The problem is, as everyone knows, the second he does buy this in, up go the flares, and a lot of noise. So teammates are obviously going to be coming back in with very little. And so this squad here have just got to reset themselves, but we have seen them do it before, right? They've taken these kind of moments where it looks like the jig is up and they're just trying to eke out whatever they can and turn it into a potentially game-winning situation.
I feel like now they're all coming back into this one. They're actually going straight for a big game bounty as well. And hopefully they can do the work to put themselves back in the best possible position. Still good amount of kills for it. Might actually be one of their lowest scoring games if they don't get this one running. And I like that, splitting the guns.
Yeah, and a bag.
Giving one of it. Actually, has he got any guns? He didn't give away all of his guns, surely.
Yep.
I'd assume not.
I think maybe it's because he's got Krampus on him. I don't know. Oh, he does. He's got one gun. He's got one gun. So splits the guns off. Gives his teammate one so they can fight this effectively. Throwing knife out of the air. And now they're looking straight into here. Cluster strike coming in as well. Finds that player on the back. Gonna go for the instant end. Gets back inside. It will. Oh my goodness. Someone gets a second kill as well. Hisoka going berserk here. Teammates have gone down Skullface. Obviously, he's going to be revived by the teammate, I think. And the advanced UAV is up, and now they can figure out where they're going next.
Just do a great job. Just these scenarios where it's like, okay, that should be the end of your game. That should be done and dusted. And they just managed to turn it into a spot where, okay, now they're looking really good. And obviously, you have got to consider that that team that took them down earlier will still be out there. But, I mean, now you can see that the three players that are being split and relatively roaming around, they're moving across together. Cluster Strike will be coming in, so he's going to dip out for now. But if he can get up close, tight, and personal with his teammates here and with this opposing side, as you can see, his teammates are already involved in a gunfight. You just pray for whoever's on the other end of this.
Literally on my airstrike, he's crying.
Wow. I feel like this is where they get back into this game hard and now just go essentially hell for leather. You can see them pushing this team very, very aggressively. Streaks coming in. Amiga just on the cusp. There's a bar trying to bang away through the wall. Not getting any hits at the moment, but you can see Omega's going to engage here, and so is Hisoka coming to back up his teammate. Finds one with the elimination. Finds a second one. You go down as well. Where is this third one gone? Don't you run from us.
Combat Scout is so inconsistent.
And if anything, they're just constantly upgrading their gear and their money. Should be buying, they might even buy a loadout in here. They've got a teammate with enough money. The UAV comes in. Looking for this player up in the hills. Team shooting going on. Not quite enough to get the hits with the bar, though.
No, it is only a blue boy. I think you were right with the loadout call there. Just give themselves that extra bit of firepower to see this one out. Have ammo and plates and the rest of it. But I do think a loadout would be completely fine. Tap, tap away. The bar just... It is weird with its fire rate. You really do have to land your shots, but if you do, it hits like a truck. But the return fire will light him up for just a second. And Omega here, looking to use the self-revive. I have no idea where he got hit from. Him and Skullface perhaps also trading shots with this squad up here. But, oh my God.
Well, when the bar doesn't move and it hits, it certainly is very, very dangerous.
Right here.
And it looks like the teammates are kind of leaving him alone here. Look how convoluted this area is. There's trees, there's rocks, there's indentations, ridges. And I can see why he doesn't want to push for it. Maybe if he had a stun, he'd go for it, but already being lit up, those bullets setting him on fire, and they will take him down.
I killed deeper in front of me.
Skullface now running over to try and help.
God damn it, the gas, bro. Downed him.
No. I think they might have an okay time of this. The gas gives them a little bit of advantage in the fact that the other team can't really play around it. They can only really push one way. And they're actually going to get Hisoka up. How have they been allowed to do this?
Yeah, no. How indeed. There are 5 squads around it, but a lot of those squads are going to be low on numbers, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe someone trying to be opportunistic. A whole lot of cash did disappear, so I'm wondering what was bought in here for this squad as Hisoka does his best Celium impression. I'm just trying to find anything and anyone, and armor bundle comes in, spending that cash. You can't take it with you, so you may as well just take it into your next fight. They know where one squad is at least, but yeah, you are right. Why was he allowed to sneak out of there? What happened up there that stopped that happening? Did his teammates manage to cause enough noise to make them back off, or did a third party arrive to try and clean that up? UAV will come in, but we always have to be wary at this point, and I'm pretty sure it is the case where some of these guys are going to be ghosted.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. This is one of the times where I feel like even with 16 kills, they just constantly felt up against it. Like the entire time, it feels like they're scraping for survival over and over and over again, and somehow they're still in. It turns out the skill of these players is enough to overcome the adversity they have currently faced. And no one player's on the edge here. The only real cover is a tent, which, let's face it, not really any cover at all. That player jumps down like a lunatic. Now has to hide. Where are the rest of these players? There's another one. Like lemmings.
Yeah, I'm watching it right.
Pop yourself up, and Hisoka will smash you with a bar. Just tapping away at damage, and that gas is going to move them out whether they want to be there or not. One tries to spring out, and clearly they've tried to do something together here, but that's a break, and surely here, tap, tap, tap away. One goes down, tries to lock onto the second. Hisoka here, get rid of this final guy, and it is a 3v1 for the win. And actually, Skullface has been shot in the back by whoever it is still remaining.
Last one.
Well, they found him, I think. There we go. I think that is the last player. Finish this up. Another big win for this team. Not as big as it has been for some of them, but, I mean, score from Hisoka, by the way, absolutely massive so far into this, and we are coming to the cusp. The 3 hours has ended, but there is one game remaining for all of our teams. So, don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after the break with our very final jump into Caldera. Right after this break, don't go anywhere.
It's a Warzone, it's a shootout every day. Here we go again. It's a Warzone, it's a shootout every day.
PlayStation